One thing that I've been hearing a lot recently in social media is all Unreal Engine games look the same. Now, of course, this is not true because there's a variety of art styles, but there is a set of games that are made with Unreal Engine 5 that do look pretty similar. So how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we are going to discuss 3 reasons why several games made with Unreal Engine 5 look the same. Let's get started. When I say that some Unreal Engine games are looking the same, I do have some examples for you. We have Stalker 2, Wu-Chang Fallen Feathers, The First Descendant, Silent Hill 2 Remake, Oblivion Remaster, it's a remake, Phantom Blade Zero, and Black Myth Wukong. And about Black Myth Wukong, I have a quote here from Theodore Mackenzie. He is the head of content at 80 level, and he says, Wukong is an awesome game, one of the best RPGs of the 2020s in my opinion, but the in-game world felt like I am writing an article about an Unreal Engine 5 asset pack. And with that in mind, we go into reason number 1 to why a lot of Unreal Engine 5 games look the same. And that is the biggest asset pack that we have for Unreal Engine 5, Megascans. Now, Megascans is if not the biggest library of 3D scanned assets out there. These assets are photo scanned, they are highly realistic, super high quality when it comes to textures, when it comes to poly count. And the library is comprised of almost 18,000 assets. Most of those assets, by the way, studios have for free, because I have them for free. They used to be free if you were using Unreal Engine up until last year. Recently, they turned into paid assets, but they are very affordable. So why did I mention Megascans? Well, all of these games use Megascans. That means they are using exactly the same asset pack. And when you have these same assets, you will get the similar look. And when it comes to like exterior environments, realistic environments, there is no better than the Megascans, to be honest. But yeah, the fact that they are used so much, especially in smaller games, they rely a lot on Megascans. It creates that kind of similar look that they all have. Now, it would be very unreasonable of me to expect that developers would stop using Megascans, especially in an age where a lot of us are asking video game companies to lower budgets and lower development times so we can have more games that don't need to make $500 million in order to be profitable. So yeah, Megascans will come into the equation. This is a library that a lot of studios and a lot of developers, especially indie games, will keep on using. Now then, when it comes to Megascans, there is something very interesting, because not only do Unreal Engine 5 games use Megascans, a lot of games use Megascans nowadays. We got Cyberpunk 2077, we got Battlefield 5, we got Destiny 2, we got Resident Evil 7. None of those games use Unreal Engine 5. They all use Megascans, but they don't have that same look. Now, that might be because of reason number 2, and that is color grading, or in some cases, the lack thereof. Unreal Engine comes with something that is called the Filmic Tone Mapper. Just to make things simple, this is the color grade that gives Unreal Engine its Unreal Engine look. However, the engine has its own tool that developers can use to get away from this Unreal Engine color, and you can see from here all these settings that will allow developers to change the way that the scene look. You can see that I have different hues here. I can get a different type of coloring. Of course, I'm doing this on the fly. This has to be art director and with a lot of intentions, but just to show you that there are different tools here in Unreal Engine that developers use to change how their game looks. Another way that they can color grade inside Unreal Engine is by using the lookup tables. These are the same things that I sometimes use when I'm rendering 3D animations. And a lot of movies and films use this to color their renders before they call it final. So I have a couple LUTs here, and you can see that once I add them, the scene does change. It's very subtle, and you can see that there is a change when I add and when I take it out. Now, reason number 3 why I think a lot of video games made with Unreal Engine 5 look very similar, and this isn't as big as the other two, but I think it is affecting video games. And one of the things that a lot of people mention with games made with Unreal Engine is that they are blurry and it feels like you have cataracts, which I've never had, but yeah, a lot of games are looking blurrier. And I think that has to do with the overuse of the exponential high fog. Now, the exponential high fog is an asset that is inside Unreal Engine to create kind of like that foggy scenery that you see a lot, and I think that's what's making a lot of games blurry. And if you see this little cone right here, one of the reasons why the exponential fog is used so much is to create these God rays. So this is a fake God ray that I just placed here. I just use it by placing a light and using the volumetric scattering that comes with the light and the exponential high fog. The more that you increase this, the more these God rays you can see on the scene. And sometimes it's used to give kind of like that wispy, foggy setting. I just turned off that light so you can see what the exponential fog is doing to the environment. So this is with no exponential fog, and this is with exponential fog all the way to 1. So you can see it gives that kind of like very foggy look. But if I turn it down to something a little bit more manageable, you can see that it's still there. If I turn it on and remove it, you can see the difference between it on and it off, and it takes away that little bit of blurriness that is in the environment. Sometimes I wish there was a toggle setting in games to turn it off, because certain games do use this pretty well and give very nice cinematic feelings, but I think a lot of games are just overusing it and the games look a lot too blurry. So how can we address this? Well, when it comes to megascans, like I said in the beginning, there's no way the developers are going to stop using them, but there are ways to make games look unique. One of the best things about megascans is you do get these source assets. So you get the high poly asset, which you can take into a texturing program, bake down the maps, and create a whole new set of textures to make your assets more unique. Now, when it comes to color grading, I know all these games that I mentioned are going for the realistic art style, but even when it comes to a realistic setting, there can be some color grading. Now, most movies are realistic because they're made with real people, real actors, but they still have different hues and saturations. So there's color grading in there. I think the same thing can be done to video games with the tools that Unreal Engine 5 provides. And I'm going to add one thing that is going to be subjective, because this is something that I would like. See, when it comes to video games, there seems to be two art styles. One is realistic, which is the one that we've discussed so far, and the other one is the stylized, or some other call it cartooning, which stylized has a variation of different art styles within the stylized art style. However, when it comes to realistic, there isn't much variations, and I dare to say there isn't any variation at all. All games seems to follow the pattern where, okay, this is realistic and it has to look like a real life person and all that. That should not be the case. If you look at something like Love, Death and Robots, some of those shorts, you can see that they have realistic textures and what looks like realistic settings, but the characters are highly stylized. So yes, you can do stylized and still use realistic textures. Now, I understand that creating something like this, when it comes to the realistic art style, can be very costly and can increase development times. However, this is something that I think a lot of people will like to see. It will give your game a very unique look. Now, what do you think? What do you think are the reasons why some Unreal Engine games are looking the same? Let me know in the comments section down below. Thank you so much for watching this video all the way till this point. My socials are downstairs. Please subscribe, leave a like, because right now Engagement really matters for YouTube, so if you could leave a comment, leave a like, really helps the channel. Once again, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.